Ever catch a younger woman doing something that leaves you wondering, is she really into me? You know that subtle look, the one that mixes curiosity with a hint of mischief, and the way she behaves in a crowd as if she's silently telling you, I'm interested. Today, we're diving into the 8 moves that young women pull when they're attracted to older men. We'll explore what these moves mean, back them up with research and real-life stories, and reveal how these subtle signals are far more than just random gestures. If you've ever found yourself wondering why someone's behavior feels different when you're older, stick around because this video is for you. In today's world, where dating dynamics are constantly shifting and social media gives us a glimpse into everyone's lives, it's easy to overlook those quiet signals that tell you, hey, she's into you. Studies suggest that attraction isn't always about the obvious. Sometimes it's hidden in the small details of body language, conversation, and even the way someone manages their day-to-day life. And when it comes to young women being drawn to older men, there are some moves that are almost instinctual. So whether you're an older guy curious about why the attention is coming your way, or just someone looking to understand these dynamics better, you're in the right place. Let's break it down. We're talking about 8 key moves that, when combined, create a powerful message of interest and attraction. These aren't just random acts, they're well-thought-out behaviors influenced by life experience, confidence, and a clear sense of what they want. And while some of these moves are backed by solid research, even from places like Harvard and Yale, others are more about understanding the vibe of modern dating culture. It doesn't matter if every single point is 100% bulletproof in a lab. What matters is that they grab your attention and make you think, maybe I've seen this before. So let's jump right into the first move. There's nothing subtle about a confident smile and a knowing glance. When a young woman is attracted to an older man, she often starts with what we call flirting with confidence. It's that moment when she leans in a little closer, her eyes lock onto yours with an intensity that says, I'm interested, and I'm not afraid to show it. It's not about being overly aggressive or forward. No, it's more about that understated vibe, the kind of energy that whispers, I've noticed you, and I want to know more. Research has shown that confidence is one of the most attractive traits in any interaction. Studies in social psychology reveal that body language, like maintaining steady eye contact, having an open posture, and even the way you laugh, plays a huge role in conveying attraction. In the case of young women drawn to older men, it's often because they see that confidence and life experience as markers of security and maturity. You might have noticed that when you're in a room, the person with that calm, assured presence is the one everyone seems to look to for guidance. That same presence, when exuded by someone who's clearly interested, becomes a beacon for her attention. Imagine this, you're at a party and amid the buzz of conversations, she finds a way to casually drift closer to you. Maybe she laughs at your jokes, really laughs, like her eyes light up. And she doesn't just say hi with a smile, she gives you a look that lingers just a bit longer than expected. That's her way of sending a message without words, relying on the power of nonverbal cues. And it's not just about what she does, it's also about how you respond. When you notice that confident, playful energy coming your way, it's like a silent nod saying, I see you and I appreciate your vibe. It's important to remember that this move isn't about playing hard to get. Instead, it's a natural expression of her interest. In many ways, it mirrors the way older, more experienced people interact in social settings. Steady, unhurried, and self-assured. And if you're reading this thinking, yeah, I've seen that before, then you already know the drill. Drop a comment if you recognize that subtle art of flirting with confidence. What makes this move so magnetic is that it's not forced or overt. It's a dance of glances, smiles, and small gestures that, when put together, create a powerful signal of attraction. It's the kind of move that makes you want to lean in to see what else she might reveal about herself as the conversation flows. And while it might seem small on its own, it's the starting point for everything that follows. A quiet, confident invitation to get to know her better. You know that feeling when a conversation unexpectedly turns deep and you find yourself sharing more than you ever intended? That's no accident. When a young woman is interested in an older man, she often takes the conversation beyond the small talk, steering it toward topics that matter. Her passions, her dreams, even her past struggles. This isn't just for the sake of conversation. It's a strategic move. By opening up and inviting you into her inner world, she's signaling that she's looking for something real, something more than just a fleeting encounter. Studies on communication suggest that meaningful dialogue is one of the strongest ways to build trust and connection. When we talk about our experiences and our feelings, we're essentially handing over a piece of ourselves. And for many young women, sharing those personal stories with an older man who's been through a few more of life's ups and downs is incredibly appealing. There's a sense of security in knowing that the person you're talking to can understand the nuances of life because he's experienced them firsthand. Imagine sitting across from someone who listens, not just waiting for their turn to speak, but truly hearing you out when she sees that you're not just nodding along, but are genuinely engaged in what she has to say. It's like a spark lights up. It transforms a regular conversation into something intimate. This move often involves asking questions that go deeper than, "What do you do for fun?" Instead, you might find her asking, "What's something that changed the way you see the world?" Or, "What's a moment in your life that really shaped who you are?" These are not your everyday questions. They're invitations to connect on a level that goes beyond the superficial. And here's the thing, this move is all about balance. It's not that she wants to unload her life story on you right off the bat. Rather, it's a gradual reveal. One moment she's talking about her favorite book or movie, and the next she's sharing a personal experience that's deeply meaningful. It's as if she's testing the waters, seeing if you're the kind of person who can handle not just the light and playful moments, but also the heavier, more meaningful ones. When you're drawn into these deep conversations, it's a clear sign that she's not interested in just a casual chat. She wants to know what makes you tick, what drives your passions, and what life experiences have molded you. It's an invitation to explore the layers of her personality and in turn let her explore yours. And if you ever find yourself in a conversation where the topics start getting real and the vibe shifts from casual banter to soulful sharing, you're likely witnessing one of the most powerful moves in her playbook. So next time you're in a conversation that starts to feel like it's peeling back the layers of your personality, pay attention. That's her way of signaling that she sees something in you worth connecting with on a deeper level. And if you've ever experienced that, drop a comment below with your thoughts on how deep conversation changed the game for you. When it comes to the art of attraction, the role of mutual connections can be a game changer, especially when a young woman is attracted to an older man. This move isn't about direct declarations of interest or overt signals. It's a masterful use of social dynamics where the power of networking and shared circles creates a natural pathway to connection. In this section, we'll dive deep into how and why mutual connections serve as a subtle yet powerful indicator of interest backed by research, real-life examples, and practical insights. Imagine you're at a social gathering. Amid the chatter and laughter, you notice that certain individuals seem to appear more frequently around you. It might start with a friendly introduction from a mutual friend, or perhaps you catch a glimpse of someone who consistently joins the group conversation whenever you're around. This is the magic of leveraging mutual connections, a move that creates a comfortable, trusted environment for both parties. Mutual connections work on the principle of social proof. Social psychology tells us that we tend to trust people who are vouched for by someone we already know. This is why when a young woman introduces you to her friends or subtly ensures that you cross paths in a familiar setting, it lowers the barriers to getting to know you. The implicit message is clear. I trust this person and I think you're worth getting to know. Consider a scenario where you attend a networking event or a casual get-together. As you circulate the room, you might find that one particular person seems to keep appearing in your circle, almost as if fate has orchestrated these encounters. That's no coincidence. Often, she's strategically positioning herself through mutual connections. It might start with a seemingly innocent conversation where a friend mentions, "Oh, did you know name?" Or even a casual introduction at the door. Over time, these repeated encounters build a sense of familiarity and trust that goes beyond the surface. For example, imagine you're at a mutual friend's birthday party. Amid the crowd, you spot her laughing at a joke made by someone you know. You join the conversation, and soon enough, you realize that her presence isn't accidental. She's there because she wants to be around you, and she's chosen the gathering as a safe space to initiate a connection. The shared environment, mediated by mutual acquaintances, allows both of you to engage without the awkwardness that might come from a cold introduction. It's a natural, almost seamless integration into your social world. The influence of mutual connections is deeply rooted in human behavior. Research in social psychology has long established that we are more inclined to trust someone who comes recommended by a friend or a respected peer. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that individuals are more likely to form positive impressions and develop trust when introduced through a mutual acquaintance. This isn't merely about the individual traits of the person being introduced. It's about the perceived reliability and familiarity that a shared connection brings. For a young woman attracted to an older man, this trust factor is crucial. It's not just about physical attraction, it's about creating a foundation where she feels safe and understood. When mutual connections are involved, there's an unspoken endorsement at play, a subtle nod that says, "I'm part of your circle, and I believe you're someone worth knowing." This endorsement can significantly reduce the natural hesitancy that might come from meeting someone new, especially across different age groups. So, how does this move manifest in practical terms? There are several strategies that young women might use to leverage mutual connections effectively. Group outings and gatherings, organizing or attending events where both parties are present is one of the most natural ways to leverage mutual connections. By creating a relaxed group setting, the pressure of a one-on-one introduction is removed. Instead, interactions flow naturally as part of the group dynamic. This approach not only facilitates organic conversation, but also allows both individuals to observe each other in a social context, where body language and interpersonal skills are on full display. Social media and digital circles. In today's digital age, mutual connections aren't limited to physical gatherings. Social media platforms have become the new playground for networking. A young woman might tag you in a post, share content from your profile, or engage in group chats where both of you are present. These digital interactions often mirror real-life dynamics, where mutual friends act as the bridge connecting two worlds. Digital endorsements, likes, comments, and shares can serve as modern-day referrals, subtly reinforcing the idea that you're someone worth getting to know. Casual introductions through friends. Sometimes the most effective way to leverage a connection is through a simple introduction. This can be as straightforward as a mutual friend casually introducing you during a conversation. When a friend or colleague says, "You should really meet Name," they're amazing at something, it immediately sets a positive tone for the encounter. Such introductions carry the weight of personal endorsement, making it easier for both parties to connect on a deeper level. Shared interests and hobbies. Another layer of mutual connections involves shared interests. Perhaps you and she both enjoy a particular sport, hobby, or cultural event. Mutual friends who share these interests can naturally facilitate encounters. For example, if you're both part of the same book club or attend similar art exhibitions, those shared spaces become a fertile ground for connection. In these settings, the mutual interest acts as an additional layer of validation, further cementing the sense of familiarity and trust. Leveraging mutual connections does more than just set the stage for an initial meeting. It fundamentally influences the dynamics of the relationship that may follow. When the connection is established through a trusted intermediary, it often leads to more genuine, less guarded interactions. Both parties enter the conversation with a sense of security, knowing that there's a common ground already in place. This approach also minimizes the pressure associated with first impressions. Instead of feeling like every word and gesture is under a microscope, both individuals can relax and engage more authentically. The presence of mutual friends or shared digital communities means that there's always a fallback, a shared history or common context that can be drawn upon in moments of uncertainty. In essence, it creates a buffer against the awkwardness that often accompanies new interactions, allowing for a smoother, more natural progression toward deeper connection. To further illustrate the power of leveraging mutual connections, consider the following real-world scenarios. In many professional environments, mutual connections are almost inevitable. Imagine you work in a large organization where colleagues often mingle at company events. A young woman in your office might be drawn to your calm, experienced demeanor. Rather than approaching you directly in a high-pressure environment, she might let her colleagues set the stage. During a casual lunch or a team-building event, you're introduced, and the conversation flows effortlessly because the initial barrier was broken by a trusted mutual connection. Over time, that simple introduction could evolve into a deeper professional or even personal connection, all thanks to the groundwork laid by a shared network. The social circle shift. Consider a scenario where a friend's party becomes the backdrop for a subtle yet effective series of interactions. You might notice that every time you're in the room, she seems to gravitate toward the group you're in. Perhaps she's the one who's always at the center of the conversation, laughing and engaging with your friends. Over the course of the evening, as mutual friends continue to introduce topics that interest both of you, a bond starts to form. It's not just the individual conversation that matters. It's the cumulative effect of multiple low-pressure interactions that gradually build familiarity and trust. Online group dynamics. In the digital sphere, mutual connections can be just as influential. Imagine participating in an online community, perhaps a forum or a social media group dedicated to a shared interest. Here, interactions are recorded, and mutual friends often comment or endorse each other's contributions. In this setting, a young woman might engage with your post consistently, leaving thoughtful comments and even tagging you in relevant discussions. Over time, these digital interactions accumulate, creating a sense of continuity and reliability. When you finally decide to interact directly, there's already a foundation of trust built through countless small, positive engagements. Academic research supports the idea that mutual connections enhance the likelihood of successful interpersonal interactions. One study in social network theory found that individuals who are introduced through shared acquaintances are more likely to experience positive initial interactions. This phenomenon is often referred to as the friend of a friend effect, a dynamic where the credibility of a mutual connection helps to mitigate the uncertainty of a new meeting. Moreover, research into the strength of weak ties suggests that while close friendships are vital, even casual acquaintances can have a significant impact on our social networks. When a young woman leverages these weak ties, she's effectively expanding her social influence, allowing her to connect with someone who might otherwise seem outside of her immediate circle. This strategy not only increases the likelihood of a positive interaction, but also broadens the scope for future engagement, as both parties can draw on a diverse network of friends, colleagues, and acquaintances. Once the initial contact is made through mutual connections, the next step is to nurture that budding connection. Here, the move isn't just about the introduction, it's about how that introduction is leveraged over time. For example, if you've met at a friend's event, follow-up interactions might occur in more intimate settings, like one-on-one coffee meetups or smaller group outings. These follow-ups are essential in transforming a casual encounter into a meaningful relationship. In these follow-up scenarios, the mutual connection often continues to play a supportive role. They might invite both of you to another event, or simply check in to see how the interaction evolved. This ongoing presence of a mutual friend reinforces the trust factor, reminding both parties that there's an existing social safety net that supports the connection. It also encourages a gradual transition from group interactions to more focused personal dialogues, paving the way for deeper intimacy and understanding. While leveraging mutual connections is an effective move, it isn't without its challenges. One key aspect to consider is the risk of over-reliance on the mutual network. If the initial connection is solely based on the presence of a shared friend or digital acquaintance, there's a chance that the connection might feel less organic once that common ground is removed. Therefore, it's crucial for both parties to work on establishing their own rapport independently of the mutual connection. Another consideration is the possibility of misinterpretation. Sometimes, what appears as a strategic use of mutual connections can be misread as simply being friendly or sociable. The key is consistency. If you find that her actions are consistently geared toward creating opportunities for interaction, it's a strong indicator that the mutual connection is being used as a deliberate move of attraction rather than just casual friendliness. For those who are interested in understanding or even facilitating this dynamic, consider investing time in building and nurturing your own social network. Whether in professional settings or personal circles, having a robust network of mutual connections can open doors to new opportunities, both socially and romantically. The process of developing such a network isn't merely about quantity, but about quality. Engage with people who share your interests, values, and aspirations. Over time, as your network grows, you'll notice that introductions and shared interactions become more natural and less forced. For the young woman employing this move, the emphasis is on creating an environment where the attraction can flourish naturally. Instead of direct declarations, she's using the power of association to make the older man feel comfortable and intrigued. For the older man, recognizing these subtle cues, such as repeated introductions, shared social outings, or digital interactions, is key to understanding that there's an underlying interest at play. In summary, leveraging mutual connections is a nuanced and sophisticated move that plays a pivotal role in modern dating dynamics, especially when there's an age difference. It's about more than just introductions. It's about creating a reliable, trustworthy network where the initial spark of attraction can be nurtured into something more meaningful. Through group gatherings, digital interactions, and consistent follow-ups, both parties benefit from a natural progression that reduces the pressures of first impressions and fosters authentic connection. In today's fast-paced world, where first encounters can often feel rushed or superficial, the deliberate use of mutual connections offers a refreshing alternative. a strategy that values trust, familiarity, and gradual relationship building over instant gratification. Whether you're the one sending these signals or the one picking up on them, understanding the power of shared networks can transform the way you view modern romance. So next time you find yourself in a situation where mutual friends are introducing you to someone, take a moment to appreciate the subtle art at work. It's not just chance, it's a well-played move, a thoughtful strategy that harnesses the inherent trust of our social networks to bring two people together. And in a world where genuine connections are sometimes hard to come by, this move is a reminder that sometimes the most profound attractions start with something as simple as a shared friend. By recognizing and embracing the power of mutual connections, you can better navigate the complex web of modern dating. It's a strategy that, when done right, not only leads to initial contact, but also lays the groundwork for lasting relationships built on trust, understanding, and the undeniable influence of shared social circles. In the intricate dance of attraction, empathy, and emotional intelligence often serve as silent yet powerful signals. When a young woman is drawn to an older man, she's frequently captivated by his ability to understand, to listen, and to respond in ways that go far beyond the superficial. In this extended segment, we will explore how exuding empathy and demonstrating emotional intelligence become key moves in the attraction playbook. We'll break down the science behind these traits, offer real-life examples and anecdotes, and provide practical insights into how these qualities manifest in everyday interactions. Before diving into the nuances of attraction, it's important to clarify what we mean by empathy and emotional intelligence. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It's about truly stepping into someone else's shoes. Emotional intelligence, on the other hand, encompasses a broader set of skills, including self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, and relationship management. Together, these qualities allow a person not only to manage their own emotions, but also to connect deeply with others. For many young women, these traits are particularly attractive because they signal stability, maturity, and a capacity for genuine connection. Unlike fleeting charm or superficial compliments, empathy and emotional intelligence suggest that you can navigate life's ups and downs with sensitivity and insight. This emotional capacity is often seen as a beacon in today's fast-paced, digitally distracted world. Imagine a scenario where you're having a challenging day. Maybe you've encountered a setback at work or are dealing with personal stress. In such moments, a partner who listens attentively, validates your feelings, and responds with genuine concern can make all the difference. When a young woman notices that an older man is capable of such deep empathy, it creates a powerful impression. It tells her that he's not just physically present, he's emotionally available and willing to invest in understanding her experience. Research supports this connection between empathy and attraction. Studies in social psychology have found that individuals who exhibit higher levels of empathy are more likely to be perceived as attractive and trustworthy. In one study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, researchers discovered that empathetic individuals often foster stronger bonds and more meaningful interactions, which in turn lead to more enduring relationships. For a young woman, witnessing genuine empathy can be transformative. It might manifest in small yet significant ways: a compassionate comment when discussing a difficult situation, a thoughtful pause before responding, or simply the act of listening without judgment. These actions, though seemingly subtle, send a powerful message. I see you, I understand you, and I care about what you're going through. Let's paint a picture with a real-life scenario. Imagine attending a social event where conversations are light and cheerful on the surface. Amidst the laughter and casual banter, you notice an older man who occasionally slips into moments of quiet reflection. Later in the evening, during a conversation, one of your friends shares a personal story about a recent hardship, a moment of vulnerability that many would shy away from. Instead of offering a generic response or dismissing the issue, the older man leans in, his eyes reflecting sincere concern, and asks, "How did that make you feel?" His response isn't about offering a quick fix or trying to cheer her up immediately. It's about validating her experience and acknowledging the depth of her feelings. This small act of emotional presence can be incredibly impactful. It transforms the conversation from a routine exchange into an intimate moment of shared understanding. In that moment, the young woman sees that this man isn't just navigating life on the surface. He's tuned into the undercurrents of emotion that many tend to ignore. This kind of empathetic engagement creates a safe space, a space where vulnerability isn't met with judgment, but with warmth and compassion. Beyond anecdotal evidence, the scientific community has taken a keen interest in emotional intelligence and its impact on relationships. Researchers at institutions like Yale and Harvard have explored how emotional intelligence contributes to interpersonal success. One prominent theory suggests that individuals with high emotional intelligence are better equipped to manage conflicts, communicate their needs, and respond to the emotional cues of others. These skills are critical in establishing and maintaining lasting relationships. For instance, consider the concept of emotional granularity, which refers to the ability to identify and differentiate between nuanced emotional states. This skill allows someone to pinpoint not just that a person is upset, but to understand whether they're feeling anxious, disappointed, or frustrated. When an older man demonstrates such emotional granularity, he's able to offer responses that are both specific and comforting. Instead of a vague, "I'm sorry you're feeling bad," he might say, "It sounds like you're really overwhelmed right now. Do you want to talk about what's been weighing on you?" This specificity in response can deepen the connection as it shows that he is not merely reacting, but truly understanding the complexity of her emotions. So how can these traits be observed in day-to-day life? Let's break it down into several practical behaviors. Active listening. Active listening is a cornerstone of emotional intelligence. It involves giving your full attention to the speaker, making eye contact, nodding, and avoiding interruptions. When a young woman notices that an older man is truly engaged in what she's saying, it signals that her thoughts and feelings matter. This isn't about waiting for your turn to speak. It's about immersing yourself in the conversation and offering genuine responses. Reflective responses are another key behavior. Instead of jumping straight to advice or solutions, a reflective response involves summarizing what the other person has said and expressing understanding. For example, if she shares a challenge at work, you might respond with, "It sounds like that situation really frustrated you. That must have been tough to deal with." This approach not only validates her feelings, but also encourages her to open up further. Non-judgmental attitude. Emotional intelligence requires a non-judgmental stance. This means accepting someone's feelings without immediately offering criticism or unsolicited advice. When a young woman feels that she won't be judged for her vulnerabilities, she's more likely to let her guard down. This creates a dynamic where both parties can explore their feelings openly and honestly. Empathetic body language. Body language speaks volumes when it comes to empathy. Subtle gestures, such as leaning in, maintaining gentle eye contact, or a reassuring touch on the shoulder, can convey warmth and understanding without uttering a word. For instance, when she recounts an emotional story, your compassionate posture and attentive expressions can reinforce the idea that you're not only hearing her, but you're emotionally present with her. It's important to note that emotional intelligence isn't just about winning someone's attention in the moment, it's a long-term investment in the quality of your relationships. For young women, the ability to share a space with someone who is emotionally mature can be a key indicator of compatibility. When she sees that you're capable of managing your own emotions while also being attuned to hers, it builds a foundation of trust that is essential for any deep, lasting connection. Consider this. In the early stages of any relationship, it's common to encounter moments of vulnerability. Perhaps there's a disagreement or one of you experiences a personal setback. In these moments, an emotionally intelligent partner will respond not with defensiveness or detachment, but with understanding and support. This kind of response not only diffuses tension, but also reinforces the bond between you. Over time, this consistent display of emotional intelligence becomes a hallmark of a secure, stable relationship, a quality that many young women find irresistible. One of the unique dynamics in relationships where a young woman is attracted to an older man is the bridging of generational experiences. While differences in age might suggest divergent perspectives, emotional intelligence acts as a unifying force. When an older man demonstrates empathy, he shows that he values the experiences and emotions of someone who might have a different cultural or generational background. This not only enriches the conversation, but also paves the way for mutual growth. For example, she might share insights about modern challenges, such as navigating digital relationships or handling the pressures of social media, while you bring perspectives honed by years of life experience. Rather than clashing, these differences can complement one another when both parties are emotionally intelligent. Empathy allows you to appreciate her unique viewpoint while also offering your own insights in a way that is both respectful and supportive. This bridging of generational gaps underscores the idea that emotional maturity transcends age. It's a quality that fosters genuine understanding regardless of the number of candles on the birthday cake. Exuding empathy doesn't just influence the person you're interacting with, it creates a ripple effect that can transform an entire environment. In social settings, a man who is known for his empathetic nature often becomes a focal point, a person who others naturally gravitate toward for advice, comfort, or simply a listening ear. This isn't about seeking attention or admiration. It's a byproduct of consistently demonstrating that you care about those around you. For young women, being in the presence of someone who exudes empathy can be profoundly reassuring. It sends a message that this isn't just a fleeting moment of attraction, but a sign of a deeper capacity for care and connection. When you display empathy, you not only validate her current emotions, but you also establish yourself as someone who will be there during both the highs and lows of life. This reliability, built on a foundation of emotional intelligence, is one of the most attractive qualities a person can possess. While the benefits of empathy and emotional intelligence in relationships are clear, it's worth acknowledging that these qualities can sometimes be challenging to express consistently. Modern life is filled with distractions, and even the most emotionally intelligent individuals can find themselves caught up in their own thoughts or stressors. Recognizing this, it's important to make a conscious effort to stay present and mindful during interactions. One effective strategy is practicing mindfulness, a technique that helps you focus on the current moment and become more aware of your emotional state. Simple practices such as taking a few deep breaths before engaging in a conversation or pausing to really listen can make a big difference. Additionally, reflecting on past interactions and considering how you might have responded with more empathy can be a valuable learning tool. Remember, emotional intelligence is a skill that can be honed over time through self-reflection and practice. There's also a transformative power in modeling empathetic behavior. When you consistently demonstrate empathy and emotional intelligence, you inspire others to do the same. In group settings or social circles, this can lead to a more supportive, understanding environment where everyone feels valued and heard. For a young woman who's looking for a partner capable of deep emotional connection, witnessing these qualities in action can be incredibly influential. Think back to a time when you were part of a group discussion and notice that one person's empathetic responses help diffuse tension or bring clarity to a difficult topic. That person often becomes a natural leader, not because they command the conversation, but because they guide it with sensitivity and insight. This ripple effect reinforces the idea that empathy isn't just about personal attraction. It's about fostering a culture of care and mutual respect. At its core, exuding empathy and emotional intelligence is about authenticity. It's about being unafraid to show your true self, your strengths, your vulnerabilities, and your capacity for growth. For young women, this authenticity is a signal that you're not just a repository of wisdom or experience, but someone who genuinely cares about forging a connection that transcends superficial interactions. When you embody these qualities, you're not only attracting someone's interest in the moment, you're laying the groundwork for a relationship that can weather life's inevitable challenges. It's a reminder that, in a world full of fleeting interactions and rapid digital exchanges, there's immense value in slowing down, listening deeply, and truly connecting with another human being. So if you find yourself in a conversation where every word feels intentional, every pause filled with understanding, and every gesture speaks of genuine care, know that you are witnessing or even exuding the kind of empathy and emotional intelligence that makes lasting connections possible. For any young woman noticing these subtle yet profound signals, it's a clear message. Here is someone who isn't just passing through life, but is committed to experiencing it fully with all its joys and sorrows. In conclusion, while attraction might often be depicted as a spark or a fleeting glance, the true depth of connection is built on the steady foundation of empathy and emotional intelligence. It's the quiet moments, the genuine listening, and the thoughtful responses that leave a lasting impact far more than any grand gesture ever could. And as you continue to cultivate these qualities in your interactions, remember that every empathetic moment is not just a step toward deeper connection, it's a testament to the power of truly understanding and valuing another person. We all have a story to tell, and sometimes the way that story is shared can be a major signal of attraction. When a young woman is attracted to an older man, she often uses storytelling as a way to show her depth, her ambitions, and her unique perspective on life. It's not just about recounting adventures. It's about weaving in lessons learned, sharing moments that defined her, and hinting at a future that's full of promise. Think about the last time you listened to someone recount a travel experience or a challenge they overcame. There's a certain magnetism in the way they speak about their past, not with a boastful air, but with genuine reflection. For many young women, showing that they have lived a rich life, even if it's only through experiences that seem small compared to yours, can be incredibly attractive. It tells you that they're not just following the crowd, they're carving out their own path. Some research in the field of communication suggests that storytelling is one of the most effective ways to build connections. It allows both parties to share insights and connect over common experiences. When she tells you about that time she backpacked across Europe or how she overcame a personal setback, she's not just narrating an event, she's inviting you to see the world through her eyes. And if you're drawn to the idea of a partner who's rich in experiences and not afraid to dream big, then this move is your invitation to join her on that journey. This move often starts with casual conversation and slowly evolves into deeper narratives. One moment you're talking about favorite restaurants, and the next she's sharing the life-changing moment when she decided to pursue her passion. It's the kind of move that transforms a simple chat into an exploration of values, dreams, and lessons learned along the way. And while it might seem like she's revealing too much too soon, it's actually a carefully measured way of building trust and intimacy. For many young women, their stories are a way to bridge the gap between youthful enthusiasm and the grounded, experienced perspective of an older man. They know that life isn't just about what's happening now, but also about the journey that brought them here, and the journey that lies ahead. And by sharing her life experiences and aspirations, she's subtly hinting that she sees something in you that aligns with her own journey. So next time you're in a conversation and you notice her eyes lighting up as she recalls a meaningful experience, take it as a sign. It's her way of showing that she's not just interested in who you are today, but in the shared possibilities of tomorrow. In today's digital age, how you present yourself online can be just as important as what you do in person. When a young woman is attracted to an older man, she might take a moment to showcase her interest through the way she curates her social media presence. And no, this isn't about posting selfies or trying too hard. It's about the little online moves that hint at her true feelings. You might notice that her posts suddenly become more thoughtful, or that she starts liking and commenting on your posts in a way that goes beyond a casual thumbs up. Maybe she shares articles or quotes that resonate with the kind of wisdom and experience you represent. This digital dance is subtle, but it's loaded with meaning. It's her way of saying, I get you, and that she's not just passively scrolling through life, she's actively engaging with what matters. Social media behavior has been the subject of numerous studies. And while not every claim is set in stone, there's plenty of buzz around how online actions can mirror real-life attraction. Some experts even suggest that the way we use social media can reveal more about our personalities than we realize. For a young woman, carefully curating her online presence to reflect her interests, values, and aspirations isn't about following trends. It's about sending a clear signal that she's in tune with someone who's experienced life in a way that she aspires to understand better. You might catch her liking a post that you made about a recent travel adventure or commenting on a status update with a thoughtful remark. It's not just the act of engaging, it's the content behind it. When she comments on something that shows a deep appreciation for life's complexities, you know that she's not just scrolling by, she's connecting on a whole different level. This move is all about blending the digital with the personal. Instead of relying on generic likes or emojis, she might share posts or articles that spark deeper conversations later on. And if you've ever found yourself scrolling through your feed and noticing that her interactions seem to have a little extra meaning, you're witnessing the digital side of attraction in action. It's not about the quantity of likes or comments, but about quality. When she's drawn to you, her online presence becomes an extension of that attraction, a digital mirror of the emotional connection you're building together. And if you've ever noticed that her online behavior shifts when she's interested, that's a move you definitely want to pay attention to. Ever been in a room where the energy shifts the moment someone walks in? It's like the atmosphere adjusts to their presence, even before a single word is spoken. When a young woman is attracted to an older man, one of the smartest moves she makes is reading the room and knowing exactly when to make her approach. It's all about timing, knowing when the moment is just right to say something or to lean in closer. This move is less about overt gestures and more about a finely tuned sense of awareness. Imagine being at a social event where conversations are buzzing and laughter fills the air. Amidst all this, she scans the room, subtly checking if you're engaged in a conversation or if you're free to chat. It's that split-second decision-making process that shows she's not just impulsive, she's calculated and aware of the social dynamics at play. Behavioral studies suggest that timing is crucial in any social interaction. When someone waits for the perfect moment, when the conversation has naturally paused, or when the mood is just right, it shows a level of sophistication and emotional intelligence. For a young woman, approaching an older man at the right time is her way of demonstrating that she respects the flow of the interaction. It's not about barging in or making a scene, it's about slipping in smoothly, almost like the last piece of a puzzle falling perfectly into place. You might notice this move when she hesitates at first, taking her time to observe the situation before making her move. That moment of pause isn't a sign of uncertainty. It's a strategic pause, a moment of evaluation, and when she finally does approach, her entrance is seamless, almost as if the timing was orchestrated by fate. It's in that natural, unforced moment that you realize she's not just reacting to the situation, she's shaping it. If you've ever experienced that perfectly timed moment, a pause in conversation followed by an unexpected but welcome interjection, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that subtle, almost imperceptible shift in energy that tells you something significant is about to happen. And if you've ever found yourself caught in one of those moments, drop a comment and share your story, because those moments really do make a difference. We all know that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and the way you dress can say a lot about who you are, even before you speak. When a young woman is attracted to an older man, she might use her fashion and appearance as a way to signal her interest. And this isn't about changing who she is or trying to be someone she's not. It's about accentuating her natural style to catch your eye. Imagine you're at a casual event and you notice that she's made a few subtle tweaks to her usual look. Maybe her outfit is just a bit more polished, or she's chosen accessories that have a bit of extra flair. It's as if she's saying, "I'm here, I'm interested, and I want you to notice." This move is all about nonverbal communication. Instead of shouting her interest from the rooftops, she uses her appearance as a quiet yet powerful message. There's plenty of chatter online and in fashion circles about how style is linked to attraction. While the science behind it might not be universally agreed upon, there's no denying that a well-put-together look can capture attention. For many young women, the decision to dress a little differently when they're around someone they admire is both a personal expression and a calculated move. It shows that she's not only aware of herself, but also of the impact she can have on someone else. This move often involves the little details, a choice of color, a particular piece of jewelry, or even a new hairstyle. That signals she's put thought into her appearance. And if you ever find yourself complimenting her style or noticing that her look stands out in a subtle yet undeniable way, that's a sign that she's using fashion as part of her attraction playbook. It's not about trying to fit into a trend, it's about being authentic while showcasing a refined version of herself. And when you see that effortless elegance combined with a touch of vulnerability in her style, you know she's sending a message that goes beyond the surface. It's her way of saying, "I'm comfortable in my skin and I want to share that comfort with you." One of the most powerful signals of attraction is simply being fully present in the moment. When a young woman is drawn to an older man, she doesn't just go through the motions, she's genuinely engaged in every interaction. This move is all about showing real interest, not just with words, but through actions that convey attention and care. Think about the last time you had a conversation where someone was completely tuned in. No distractions, no glancing at their phone, just undivided attention. That's the kind of presence we're talking about. It's a sign that she values what you have to say and is fully invested in the exchange. In today's world of constant digital distractions, that level of presence can feel incredibly refreshing. Research on mindfulness and active listening has highlighted just how impactful it can be when someone is truly present. While we may not have all the lab-tested facts on every interaction, there's a growing belief that being engaged and attentive is one of the best ways to build a genuine connection. For a young woman, showing up fully, whether in conversation or just by maintaining eye contact, sends a clear message that she sees you for who you really are. You might notice her nodding in agreement, asking thoughtful follow-up questions, or even just leaning in as if every word you say matters. These are the little signals that, when combined, create a powerful impression of genuine interest. It's her way of saying, "I'm here and I want to be a part of what's happening right now." And if you've ever felt that magnetic pull from someone who's entirely present with you, you know exactly how valuable that can be. This move is less about dramatic gestures and more about consistency. It's not something that happens just once. It's a continuous display of interest that builds over time. And if you find that every interaction leaves you feeling seen, heard, and valued, then you're witnessing one of the most genuine moves in her playbook. So if you've ever experienced a conversation where every moment felt meaningful, or if you've noticed someone giving you their undivided attention in a noisy room, drop a comment below. That's the kind of connection that transcends words, and it might just be the most attractive move of all. The final move, and perhaps the most powerful, is all about emotional intelligence. When a young woman is attracted to an older man, she's often drawn to someone who not only knows how to manage his own emotions, but also understands the subtle cues of others. This isn't about having a PhD in psychology. It's about that intuitive sense of empathy and understanding that makes you stand out. You might have noticed that some people just have a knack for making others feel comfortable, even when discussing tough topics. It's that ability to pick up on the unspoken feelings in the room, to respond with compassion instead of judgment. For many young women, this emotional clarity is incredibly attractive. It signals that you're not just a bystander in your own life, but an active participant who can navigate the complexities of human emotion with grace. Studies from various institutes, even if they're more anecdotal than conclusive, suggest that emotional intelligence is linked to better relationship outcomes. And while there's always debate over the exact science behind it, the idea that being emotionally savvy can draw people in is hard to argue against. When you respond to her subtle hints with understanding and care, you're not only validating her feelings, you're building a bridge that connects your experiences with hers. Think about a time when you were in a tough situation, and someone's calm, measured response helped you find your footing. That's the power of emotional intelligence in action. And when a young woman sees that you can handle life's ups and downs without getting swept up in drama, she's drawn to that stability. It's the kind of strength that isn't about being loud or forceful. It's about being quietly, reliably present through the highs and lows. This move often comes across in the small moments, the way you handle a stressful situation, the gentle tone you use when comforting a friend, or even the thoughtful pause before you respond to something important. It's these little signals that add up to a picture of someone who isn't just surviving, but thriving. And if you've ever been complimented on your ability to stay cool under pressure, then you're already nailing this move. Emotional intelligence isn't just a buzzword, it's the art of understanding and connecting on a deeper level. And when a young woman recognizes that quality in you, it's like a magnet drawing her in. It's a quiet, powerful declaration that you're someone who understands the world beyond surface-level interactions, a trait that's increasingly rare and incredibly valuable. So there you have it, the 8 moves that young women make when they're attracted to older men. From flirting with confidence and diving into deep, meaningful dialogue to leveraging mutual connections, showcasing life experiences, mastering social media, reading the room, using fashion to communicate interest, and finally being fully present and emotionally intelligent, each move tells a part of the story. These aren't isolated actions, they're part of a complex dance of attraction where every gesture, every word, and every pause contributes to a deeper connection. When you put all these moves together, what do you get? A portrait of someone who values depth, experience, and genuine connection. A person who isn't afraid to show interest in someone with more life under his belt. And while not every move is backed by hard science, the collective impact is undeniable. It's about the little things that add up over time, creating an atmosphere of trust, attraction, and mutual respect. If you've ever noticed these signs in your own interactions, or if you're an older guy who's curious about why these signals are coming your way, know that you're experiencing a dynamic that goes far beyond the superficial. It's a reminder that in a world where trends come and go, some things, like genuine connection, emotional depth, and the power of presence, never go out of style. So next time you catch that subtle look or feel the energy shift in a conversation, remember that it might just be one of these 8 moves at work. And if you've got stories to share about your own experiences, drop them in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going and explore together how these timeless moves continue to shape the way we connect in a modern world. By exploring these 8 moves, we've uncovered a whole world of subtle signals that often go unnoticed in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Yet, these signals are the very things that create the foundation for meaningful relationships built on mutual respect, shared experiences, and a genuine understanding of what it means to be truly seen. And if you're still with me at this point, I want you to take a moment and reflect on what these moves mean in your own life. Whether you're on the receiving end of these signals or you're the one sending them out, there's a lot to learn from the quiet confidence, deep conversations, and genuine presence that define these interactions. Thank you for sticking around and diving deep into these 8 moves. I hope this exploration has given you a new perspective on the ways attraction works, especially when it comes to the beautiful dynamic between young women and older men. Remember, sometimes the most powerful signals are the ones that are whispered rather than shouted. So keep your eyes open, your heart engaged, and never underestimate the power of subtlety in forging connections that last. Drop a comment below with your thoughts or any experiences you've had with these moves. And if you found this video insightful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who might appreciate a little extra clarity on the art of attraction.